Beau is a middle-aged man suffering from anxiety. He lives in a neighborhood rife with criminal activities and homicidal acts. One day, before flying to see his mother, Mona, for his father's death anniversary, Beau visits his therapist to discuss a recurring dream he has been having. It is a dream about his little self being forced to take a bath. His therapist tells him to put that aside so that they can talk about his trip to see Mona. His therapist concludes that he feels guilty for not visiting his mom regularly and always bringing up excuses when it comes to matters concerning her. He then prescribes new medication for him and tells him to always take it with water. Beau listens to Mona's voicemail and decides to get her an angel as a gift. A man covered in tattoos and pierces spots Beau running into his apartment and starts running after him. Beau dashes inside and locks the door. When he gets to his apartment, he makes a quick dinner for himself and watches the news, which is about a man named Birthday Boy Stab Man. He goes around naked, stabbing people for no reason. Beau gets in his bed and finds a picture of his first love, Elaine. Beau is unable to get a good sleep as his neighbors keep playing music at a high volume. He wakes up the next morning, late for the airport. He dashes into the washroom and packs his things. When he gets to his door, he remembers he has to take something else and goes back for it. When he returns, both his suitcase and keys to the apartment are gone. He calls his landlady to report the situation to her. She hangs up immediately, thinking that he is a solicitor. Beau then calls Mona to inform her about the missing keys, but she responds hurtfully, telling him he always has some excuse when coming to see her. When the call hangs up, Beau goes on to take his anxiety pills without water. When he realizes his mistake, it is already too late to get the drug out. He then plans on getting water from the shop opposite his apartment, although it's scary outside. He dashes out of the apartment at full speed and grabs a bottle of water to push the drug down. His card gets declined when he pays for the water, and at the same time, he sees the men on the streets entering his apartment. He gets terrified because his door isn't locked and they could get in without even trying. He pays for the water with the coins he has left in his wallet. He exits the shop, but a lady locks the door before he can enter. Beau then has to spend the rest of his night outside. The next morning, he discovers that they have all left, so he gets into the apartment and finds his room in a big mess. Beau tries booking another flight to see his mom, but again his card gets declined. When he calls her to tell her about it, a man picks the call up and tells him a chandelier fell on her head and killed her. He breaks down, knowing that the only family he had remaining is also gone now. He then takes a shower to relax him a little. As he is in the bathtub mourning his mom's death, he hears the drops of water falling from the ceiling into his water. When he lifts his head to look up, he sees a man hanging on the ceiling. He eventually falls and tries to kill Beau. Beau frees himself and runs into the streets to ask for help from the police. When the policeman sees the naked human standing in front of him, he mistakes him for Birthday Boy Stab Man and attempts to shoot him when he tries attacking him. Beau runs from the police and meets Birthday Boy Stab Man on his way. Running from him, he gets hit by a car and wakes up in a girl's room. The couple who hit him with their car took him to their house to attend to him since Roger is a surgeon. Birthday Boy had stabbed him severely after the car hit him. Grace and Roger attend to him and take care of him for days. Their daughter, Tony, dislikes Beau for him taking all her parents' attention and enjoying everything in her room while she sleeps on the sofa. Beau one day calls Mona's attorney, and the attorney tells him they need Beau to be present before they proceed to draw plans for the funeral. He adds that it was his mother's wish that she shouldn't be buried without his presence. Beau informs Grace and Roger he has to leave to attend his mother's funeral, but they insist that he waits up until at least tomorrow, because he's still recovering. The day has come for Beau to go to his mom, but something comes up. Roger must go perform an emergency surgery, so he can't take Beau, and Grace on the other hand has a shareholder meeting which she can't skip. They tell Beau to wait for the next day when everyone is less busy so that they can all go together. Tony later in the day tells Beau her dad asked her to take him to his mom. Beau believes it and goes with her, together with Tony's friend. On their way, Tony offers Beau weed to smoke. When he declines, she threatens to tell her parents that he took advantage of both her and her friend. Beau is left with no choice than to smoke it, and after that, he starts remembering the first time he met Elaine, his first girlfriend. He admired Elaine so much and she did too. One day, Elaine's mom found them kissing and took Elaine far away from him. Before parting ways with Beau, she brings him a picture of her telling him how much he loves him and also adds that he should wait for her no matter what comes up. The next day comes. Beau is still in Roger's house. Roger decides to make some goodbye barbecue before they hit the road, while Grace and Roger do the grilling outside. Their daughter Tony forces Beau into her late brother's room to destroy the walls. When Beau tells her to stop, she freaks out and drinks a tin of paint. Grace hears Beau shouting for help and rushes to see what's wrong. When she sees Tony lying dead, she starts to accuse Beau of killing her daughter. She reaches for any weapon to kill Beau, but he escapes into the woods, and Jeeves, a friend of Grace's late son, goes after him. Beau ends up in a place in the forest called the Orphans of the Forest. They take Beau in and watch a stage play with him. As the play is ongoing, Jeeves attacks them. Beau tries running, but he is electrocuted and luckily wakes up the next day unharmed. A man sees him by the roadside and offers to take him to his mom's house. When he gets there, the funeral rites have been done already. He enters to see his mother's corpse lying without her head. When the night falls, a lady appears with flowers, apologizing for not coming on time. Beau gazes at her and follows her outside. He then recognizes her as Elaine, his girlfriend when they were both teenagers. Elaine worked for Mona. Beau kisses Elaine and she returns the kiss and suggests they go inside. They do it in Mona's bed, and Beau is surprised he isn't dead because his mom told him the men in his family die immediately after they ejaculate. When Elaine reaches orgasm, she becomes stiff on top of Beau. She is dead. Beau pushes her off himself and hides on the other side of the bed. Just then his mom arrives. She has been alive all this while, watching them have fun in her bed. She asks Beau if he's not happy seeing her, and he says nothing but just keeps staring at her. Mona then calls her servants to clear Elaine's body. Beau joins his mother after some time and reveals to her that he knew she wasn't dead. He explains that the purple birthmark on the corpse's hand made him know it isn't her, but rather Martha, his babysitter who has worked for Mona for 37 years. Beau asks her why she killed such a kind-hearted woman, and she says Martha volunteered and she gave her a great deal of money, and that all the members of her extended family will be well taken care of with that money for the rest of their lives. She did all that to see if Beau really cared for her, because he always didn't show any kind of love for her. Even when he was a baby, he refused to feed on his mother's breast milk. Within their conversation, Beau's therapist shows up and Mona plays all the sessions he has had with him. The therapist has been giving Mona information about how Beau felt for her. When Beau tells her he wants to know who his father is, she opens the stairs to the attic and tells him to climb up. Beau makes it up, finds a flashlight, throws it around and finds a weak old man in chains. He throws the flashlight into another direction and finds a monster who tells him not to be afraid. Just then, Jeeves shows up and breaks into the attic. He shoots the monster several times and proceeds to stab it too. The monster groans in pain and pierces his head with its pointed hand, killing him. Beau is frightened and falls out of the attic. His therapist drags him to his mom and she tells him that was his dad. Beau regrets going up there. He begins to apologize for his actions and promises Mona he is going to be a good son. Mona tells him she gave him all the love she had, but he returned none, and for that reason she is going to hate him forever. Beau doesn't even wait for her to end her sentence and starts choking her. He chokes her for about a minute and leaves her. He starts apologizing, but it's too late. She walks a few steps backwards, falls into a display case and dies. Beau gets out of the house in fear. He reaches the riverbank, hops into a boat and leaves. The boat suddenly stops and the whole place lights up, showing a stadium with a huge crowd. Mona is shown with her attorney pouring accusations on him. The attorney shows videos of Beau feeding ducks and his therapist's fishes just to find excuses to not go see his mom. He shows a video of Beau running from the man with a whole body tattoo. Mona's attorney uses that to condemn Beau, saying he cared less about humans. Again, Mona's attorney shows another video of when Beau was 15 and invited his friends to his home. He took them to his mom's to steal her underwear. Beau tries explaining that he was pressured into the act, but no one listens to him, and when his attorney rises to intervene for him, the crowd push him off his stand and kill him on the spot. Mona's attorney continues to rain accusations on Beau. Mona becomes more and more furious until she breaks a metal bar she is holding onto. A trumpet blows and drums wail. Beau becomes frightened and tells everyone to listen to his side of the story, but no one does. His boat starts to malfunction. He cries for help, but no one offers to help. Gradually, his boat breaks down and flips over. He is trapped underneath. The boat starts to shake, signaling that Beau is struggling for his breath. After some time, the shaking stops and Beau dies. Mona grieves her son's death in the crowd. The end.